Mom, I promise I'll pay you back this time. My son Alex's voice had that familiar, desperate edge as he sat across from me at my kitchen table. I'd heard those exact words 6 times before. The first time, I believed him without question. By the 6th time, they were just empty sounds. This time, the 7th, something in me finally broke. I looked at my only child, the boy I'd raised alone after his father left, and I heard myself say the hardest words I'd ever spoken. No, Alex, not anymore. His face changed then, from pleading to anger, as if I'd betrayed him somehow. But the real betrayal had been happening for years, one broken promise at a time. Sometimes, love means having the courage to close your wallet when your heart wants to stay open. My modest ranch-style house sits on a quiet street in the same neighborhood where I've lived for 30 years. The kitchen where Alex and I had our conversation has yellow walls I painted myself and a collection of ceramic roosters that started as a joke gift from my sister. It's where Alex learned to make pancakes, standing on a step stool, where he did his homework, where he told me about his first job. I raised Alex alone after his father disappeared when Alex was just 3. Working full-time as a nurse while juggling all the responsibilities of single parenthood wasn't easy. Money was always tight, but we managed. I took extra shifts when school clothes were needed or when Alex wanted guitar lessons. I went without so he wouldn't have to. Despite the challenges, Alex grew into a bright, charming young man. He did well enough in school, had good friends, played baseball, and graduated with decent grades. College seemed the natural next step, and I'd saved what I could in a modest college fund. But Alex had bigger dreams. He wanted to attend Westlake University, private, prestigious, and far beyond what we could afford. "I'll get scholarships, Mom," he assured me, "and student loans. I'll figure it out." I wanted to believe him. I wanted him to have opportunities I never had. So I co-signed on his student loans, draining my savings for the remainder of his first-year tuition. The first signs of trouble appeared just 3 months into his freshman year. A phone call, his voice tight with stress. "Mom, I messed up with my meal plan. I need a little help until next semester." I sent the money without question. It wasn't much, and everyone makes mistakes when managing finances for the first time. But that small request was just the beginning of a pattern I wouldn't recognize until it was deeply entrenched in our relationship. Alex's second request came during spring break of his freshman year. He joined a fraternity, and there were dues he hadn't anticipated. "It's really important for networking," he explained. "These connections will help me after graduation. It's an investment, really." I dipped into my emergency fund. Just this once, I told myself. He promised to pay me back over the summer with his internship money. The internship fell through. Then his summer job paid less than expected. Then his textbooks for sophomore year cost more than budgeted. Each time, there was a reason. Each time, there was a promise to repay. Each time, I believed him because that's what mothers do. We believe in our children even when evidence suggests we shouldn't. By his junior year, the pattern was clear to everyone but me. My sister Barbara tried to warn me. "Maggie, how much have you given him now?" she asked gently. I shrugged, uncomfortable. "He's my son. He needs help." "There's a difference between helping and enabling," she said. "When was the last time he paid any of it back?" I changed the subject. The requests continued through college and beyond. After graduation, when Alex couldn't find a job in his field, I helped with his apartment deposit. When he finally found work, I covered his car repairs. When he was laid off, I paid his rent for 3 months. "Just until I get back on my feet," he'd say. "I'm good for it, Mom." Did I know that? The evidence suggested otherwise, but admitting that felt like giving up on him. Then came the business idea. Alex wanted to start a food truck, gourmet sandwiches with a twist. He had a detailed plan, cost projections, even a name and logo. His enthusiasm was contagious. "This is it, Mom," he said, eyes bright. "This is what I've been waiting for." The amount he needed was substantial, $20,000. It was more than I could easily afford, but I still had my retirement account. Taking an early withdrawal would mean penalties, but seeing Alex so passionate made it seem worthwhile. "I've done the math," he assured me. "I can start paying you back within 6 months. You'll have it all back within 2 years, plus interest." I believed him. I withdrew the money, signed a simple agreement he'd drafted, and handed over what represented years of my careful saving. For a while, it seemed like the right decision. The food truck launched, got some local press, built a small following. He texted me photos of lines forming at lunchtime. I felt proud and relieved. 6 months came and went. No repayment, not even a mention of it. I waited another month before asking casually, "How are the finances looking for the business?" Good," he said vaguely. "Building slowly. You know how it is." "So, about the repayment schedule we discussed." His expression changed. "Mom, you know startups take time. All the profits are going back into the business right now." "I understand, but we had an agreement. Even a small payment would help." "I can't believe you're pressuring me about this," he said, voice rising. "I thought you supported me." I retreated, feeling somehow like I was in the wrong. 3 more months passed. Then I saw something that stopped me cold. An Instagram post from Alex at a music festival 2 states away. Expensive tickets, a weekend getaway, while I was picking up extra nursing shifts at age 58 to make up for the gap in my retirement savings. Something shifted in me that day. It wasn't just about the money anymore. It was about respect, about honesty, about a relationship that felt increasingly one-sided. The day Alex came asking for the 7th loan started like any other Tuesday. I was making lunch for my shift at the hospital when he called, asking to stop by. His voice had that tone I'd come to recognize, the one that meant he needed something. When he arrived, he looked tired but somehow polished. Expensive haircut, watch I didn't recognize, designer sneakers. He sat at my kitchen table. "Mom, I've hit a rough patch with the truck," he began. "There's this opportunity to partner with a local brewery, set up permanently on their patio. It would be huge for business, but I need to upgrade some equipment." I waited, already knowing where this was going. "I just need $5,000. It's the last piece to really make this take off. I promise I'll pay you back this time." I looked at my son, really looked at him, the boy I'd raised to be honest, to keep his word. And for the first time, I allowed myself to see the man he'd actually become, someone who saw me as a resource rather than a person who'd sacrificed for him year after year. "No, Alex, not anymore." His expression shifted from surprise to disbelief to anger. "What do you mean, no? This is important." "So is my retirement. So is your promise to repay what you've already borrowed." "I can't believe this," he said, standing. "The one time I really need your help, and you're bailing on me, after everything?" After everything. The phrase echoed in my mind, but with a very different meaning than what he intended. "Yes, after everything," I said quietly. "After 6 loans, never repaid. After watching you take a music festival trip when you claimed all money was going back into the business." "So that's it? You're just cutting me off?" His voice rose, eyes flashing with an entitlement I'd helped create. "I'm not cutting you off as my son. I love you. That doesn't change. But yes, I'm cutting off the financial support." He left angry, slamming the door hard enough to make my ceramic roosters rattle. One fell and cracked. A fitting metaphor for the moment. The weeks following my decision were the hardest of my life. Alex didn't call, didn't come to Sunday dinners. My house felt emptier than it had in years. Barbara came over often, bringing reassurance. "You did the right thing," she told me. "Then why does it feel so terrible?" I asked. "Because you're a mother, and we're programmed to give until there's nothing left. But sometimes the most loving thing is to stop." 3 months after our confrontation, I ran into Alex's roommate Matt at the grocery store. "How is he?" I asked, trying to sound casual. Matt hesitated. "Honestly, struggling a bit. The brewery deal fell through, but he's picked up some catering gigs, working with a financial advisor to get the business on track. A week later, an envelope arrived in my mailbox. Inside was a check for $500 and a brief note in Alex's handwriting. First installment, more to come. A. No apology, just $500 and a promise of more. It wasn't much compared to what he owed, but it was something I hadn't seen before, an actual repayment. The next month, another check arrived, this time for $600, and the month after that, another. 4 months into this new pattern, my doorbell rang on a Sunday evening. Alex stood on my porch, looking different somehow, a little leaner, a little more serious. "Can we talk?" he asked. We sat at the kitchen table again. He placed an envelope between us. "This is a formal repayment plan," he explained. "I worked it out with the financial advisor. It accounts for everything I owe you, with interest, broken into monthly payments I can manage. It'll take 3 years, but I'll get there." "What changed?" I asked. "When you cut me off. At first I was just angry, but then I had to figure things out on my own. It was harder than I expected. Made me realize how much I'd been taking advantage." "The food truck?" "Still going, but smaller scale. I sold some equipment, focused on what was profitable rather than what looked impressive. Turns out I wasn't as good at business as I thought." He laughed softly. "The advisor helped me see I was running it based on what I wanted rather than what customers wanted." We talked for hours, more honestly than we had in years. About money, yes, but also about expectations, disappointment, love, and respect. It's been a year since Alex and I began rebuilding our relationship. The financial aspect has been the easiest part to fix. He hasn't missed a monthly payment, though I've told him the money matters less to me than the commitment it represents. The harder work has been redefining how we relate to each other, learning to be mother and son without the unhealthy financial dependency, finding ways to support each other that don't involve my checkbook. We have Sunday dinner together again, but now he cooks as often as I do. We talk about his business challenges, but as equals, me offering experience, him making his own decisions. Last month he paid off one of the smaller loans completely. To celebrate, he took me to dinner. His treat, no exceptions. "I've been thinking about Dad lately," he said, "about how he just walked away when things got hard." I tensed. We rarely discussed his father. "I was on that same path, wasn't I?" he continued. "Taking the easy way out, avoiding responsibility." "You're nothing like him," I said firmly. "He never came back, never tried to make things right." "Because you never made him. If you hadn't finally drawn a line with me, I might never have changed either." Sometimes the most difficult choices are the ones that matter most. Cutting my son off financially was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it may also have been the most important gift I've given him. The gift of consequences, of reality, of the chance to become the man he was capable of being all along. Love doesn't always look like saying yes. Sometimes it looks like standing firm when every instinct tells you to give in. Sometimes it looks